But I think the reason, and this was what I was going to say toward your other point, but I think it fits here too. The reason I think that Trump was so divisive and so successful is because he not only brought out the Christian, Christians were always like Republican and Christians always kind of been a thing, but he brought out the ability and the social norm to say things that up until then people had been shamed into not saying. So when I
Yeah.
was a kid, you couldn't say stuff about Jewish people. You couldn't say words like pussy. You couldn't talk about assaulting women. You weren't supposed to say that. Whether or not you actually felt that way, that's different. Like I remember people used to like refer to the Mexicans, but they would whisper at least, they would have the and what Trump did was he came out and he's like, I'm running Republican. And they're like, oh, okay. And he's like, and I'm anti-Hillary. And people were like, well, I'm anti-Hillary. So that's cool. I don't agree with anything else this guy does, but that's cool. And he's like,
Yeah.
also, I should be able to make fun of handicapped people on TV. And everybody kind of like holds their breath for a second. But all the people who have secretly made fun of handicapped people were like, well, shit, me too. Right. And then when he's like, oh, you can grab a woman by the pussy anytime you want, they won't do anything about it. All the people who up until now, we've been telling, that's weird. Don't say that stuff. Be quiet. Now they're like,
Yeah.
I can say it now. So it's not that people became that way. It's that they always were that way. But in Obama's America, you can't talk that way. In
Yeah.
George W. Bush's America, you were not allowed to talk that way, right? Like you cannot say that stuff. You can think it and you can have whispered conversations about it.
Yeah.
And if like your neighbor girl gets attacked, it's like, well, she was dressed like a slut, So I mean, well, but you can't say that stuff out loud. And he just made it okay to say. So people came out of the swamps. I remember reading about people who hadn't voted in like 25 years voting for the first time because for the first time ever, there's somebody just as bigoted, just as small-minded, just as divisive, just as I'm going to say what I want, whatever I feel on TV.